What do you think the Lakers are going to be this year, Kenny Smith?
Well, if you put a championship on paper, they would be the 2022 NBA champs. You have four guys that arguably, especially three guys for sure, that when they look at anyone in that position, they go, I have the advantage tonight. You have Russell Westbrook. There's no point guard that he's ever going to look at even at this stage in his career and go, oh, I can't guard that guy, or he can guard me. Anthony Davis, obviously, and LeBron still at this time in his career the same way. So they can win every position with those three 90% of the nights, which makes them very dangerous and obviously a clear-cut favorite. And they just won the championship the year before.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like they were that far off this year. They were just injured.
And that's really the question, because you know what it's like. I mean, you were a great player. You played a long time in the league, and you know that as guys get into their 30s, that becomes more of a factor. How do you prevent against that? I mean, the average age of this team is 32.8 years old. Anthony Davis is the youngest of the names that we know on this team. Is there a way to prevent injury from becoming a factor?
I don't know if there's a way. Even you hear low management, you hear certain lowering minutes. But you're playing at the intensity. So I don't think there's any way. That's the most astounding thing about LeBron James and the amount of times that he's been to the NBA Finals. It wasn't the fact that, he's not a great player. It's the fact that he never really got injured. And that, to me, is probably his biggest asset is durability. And is to play at such a high level for so long and not be injured in any capacity. Even Michael Jordan sat out a year, when his foot early on in his career. People, don't have the durability to last that long and play that high at that level.
Kenny Smith is with us here on ESPN Radio. So my man Kendrick Perkins and I got into a little bit of a debate, and I want to get your take on it. And I understand that we're kind of splitting hairs here, but who has the best big three in basketball? Is the big three in Brooklyn the best big three in basketball, or is the big three with the Lakers?
Well, neither one of them we've seen play.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
To be really fair about it, when Brooklyn played their best, one of those guys were always out last year.
Mm-hmm.
And when they were all together, we never really got a chance to see it. The one thing that I would probably say is the Lakers probably would just naturally play better easily because Anthony Davis doesn't need to handle the basketball to be productive. Russell Westbrook can pass and assist and rebound to be productive. LeBron doesn't need the basketball to be productive. I think that when the Nets are at their best players score. Mm-hmm. So with one basketball, I would say it would be easier for the Lakers to adjust to play better together. Will they? I don't know because we haven't seen it, but I would say it's easier for the Lakers.
I want to make sure everybody knows about the Jet Academy. It's the industry's leading streaming service for sports camps and activities. It was launched last summer by two-time NBA champ, Emmy Award-winning basketball analyst, and our current guest, Kenny the Jet Smith. Two other teams I want to ask you about, Kenny. The first of them is the Chicago Bulls. They did some interesting stuff, as far as I'm concerned. Bringing in Lonzo Ball, bringing in DeMar DeRozan. They have Zach LaVine. They've got Vucevic if he comes back healthy. I can't make up my mind you put those pieces together and what it's going to be. What do you think?
More talent. I think, the one thing about the NBA, you could have a lot of great things, but if you don't have talent, you cannot implement any systems. Mm-hmm. And with Lonzo Ball now, with obviously DeRozan, they're talented pieces that now Caruso and Kobe White, and you just keep adding to guys who could come into the game and they could actually run your game plan. I thought that was and Lauren Markkinen, they have talent in different areas now. So which now makes them, you have a game plan. A guy like, I think, who's going to benefit the most is guys like Markkinen who were really thought upon to average 18 points, but when they have a game plan for them, I think he's like a 12-point scorer.
Mm-hmm.
But when you don't have a game plan to stop him, I think he could score 17, 18 points in a night because it's going to be on Levine. It's going to be on DeRozan, even Kobe White. It's going to be on how do you stop these guys from scoring. And now I think guys like him will flourish having that much talent around them.
It's an interesting point. Yeah, they do. They have a lot of players in Chicago. We'll see how good they are. And then let's talk about your hometown team, and that would be the Knicks. I love watching you on TNT because the accent is so familiar to me. It makes me feel so good. And hearing you talk about the Knicks. So they add Evan Fournier. They re-up, if you will, give a whole bunch of money to Julius Randle, who earned it last year, and now they're on the verge of bringing in another New York point guard in Kemba Walker. How good are the Knicks going to be?
Well, I think the piece with Kemba Walker, I think, changes the dynamic somewhat. Because I really thought before free agency, I was like, Knicks are just close to being really good, and they're close to being really bad. Because, you know, most of their players last year that really were key contributors were Derrick Rose, Scott Gibson. But those guys are on the latter part of their career. And so if you couldn't sign some younger free agents, Fournier, Kemba, to kind of come in, like, have done it in the league or can do it in the league, you would have been just as close to being bad next year and the year after. So really, I think keeps them, solidifies them in a playoff position. I don't know if it puts them anywhere to the top of the Eastern Conference, but in terms of Milwaukee and Philadelphia still, even we don't know what they're going to do with Simmons, but I think that solidifies them. They're a playoff team, and they can be dangerous in the playoffs for sure.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.